Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, let's give you some volume today. We got some information that we want to tell to all of y'all. There have been a lot of those haters. Y'all know what a hater is. Somebody who ain't got no life, ain't got nothing better to do than to criticize. Hey, that sounds like you. No, it ain't sounding like me. That sounds like them haters. I ain't no hater. Well, technically I can be a hater when I feel like it, but I don't feel like it today. Alright, there are some people who are saying that the our style treasury money orders are illegal. They say that we can't do that we haven't been given permission to do that. Imagine that, permission, and what we can or cannot do. Well, let's check it out. Y'all want to check it out? Let's find out what we can and cannot do. And you're going to find out something interesting about the can-nots and the have-nots and not do's. This is an international money order. Look at the date. 11/25/2011. This was at the height of our doing all of this, but we heard about the closed checking account and we said we were going to put it to the test. And so we did this one and we put $1 million on it to Bank of America. Now, what was I doing? The account number that was supposed to be here, let's change that because I don't want to be rotten or anything in it. But the account number that was supposed to be here was the account number for the closed checking account. I was actually using the closed checking account to pay the closed checking account. I don't want 200, I want probably 150, but it won't let me do it. Okay, now this is an international money order, and this is the way we were doing it. I'm not suggesting that any of you do it this way currently, but this is the way we were doing it then. We have since come to understand that this language, EFT only, payable on demand, payable to the United States of America without recourse, is unnecessary. You're just going to put for the value, and we just found out today, a gentleman emailed us and told us that he was told by the post office because he asked questions not pertaining to this but pertaining to the international money order and told him exactly what he was going to be using the international money order for. They told her that they had a $7,000 value. Well, they told him. They told her. Doesn't matter. You don't need to know who it is. Why? Because we're not suggesting it. We just knew it was for value. We were only utilizing it for value. We were not utilizing it for its worth. Two different things, value and worth. What is it? Thompson versus Butler, 1877, sorry. 1877, Thompson versus Butler. Wait a minute. This is one of our checks that we were sending out. Money orders. And it was the Bank of America. See, I was using a Bank of America account to take care of the Bank of America account. That's their routing number. But this is the language we were putting on it. I was doing it for $1 million. Put the account number there, and I said for set-off discharge adjustment through EFT only. They didn't pay attention to that. Then IMO, International Money Order Number, which was the one that we just did, payable on demand. Account utilized for set-off through EFT only. Now, this was a receipt I was making a copy of. I had an interesting time at this is a KFC in Tucumcari, New Mexico, where they treated me like I was special. And so I am now calling them and calling them and calling them and irritating them because I am so special. And I haven't finished yet. But we'll start again with that tomorrow morning. Get their attention. So that's just those. But we're going to tell you what we did today. Because when Bank of America received those, they made a copy of them and called them legal checks. Okay? And they said you can go and utilize these someplace else. Right? Okay. So let me show you what they did because we sent them a dollar bill as well. Remember, that was my dollar bill stage. Dollar bill, y'all. Okay. Yeah, I know some of y'all understood what I was just saying. Let's go on up. They're both pretty much the same thing, just two separate money orders saying the exact same thing. But this is our current instrument. Just created this morning. Okay? Just created this morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to explain it to you. The Brett Jones, the affiliate, is state, a foreign state, because under the International Bill of Exchange, by the wonderful people at the United Nations. They says that it must stipulate its state of origin, and it must stipulate who the other state is or other entity is. Well, the other entity here is Bank of America. See, America. This is a foreign state. It's not an American state. Without the United States. See, when you look at it, there's that line. Without the United States. Not telling you this is what you should do. We just did this today. 6-7. Okay, we haven't perfected this yet, so if you want to do it, you go right ahead and do it. But do not call me telling me, well, I tried and it didn't work. I don't care whether it works for you or not. That's not my concern. The fact that you are doing something and it's not working is not my concern. Many of you are calling me, well, I tried what you said to do. I didn't tell you to do anything. I didn't even tell you to try it. You tried it on your own because why? You were desperate. And that has nothing to do with me. Your desperation has nothing to do with me. Many of you are calling me, telling me about your desperation. I don't care about your desperation. Your being in dire straits is not my problem. That is yours. So I am not here to take care of your needs. I am not here to be at your disposal. So I'm going to say it again. Stop. One person literally sent me an email telling me that they just need for me to get to the point. They don't feel like watching hours of videos. They just need for me to answer specific points. Ladies and gentlemen, I wrote this person back and I told them do not ever think it would be necessary or okay to sit up there and communicate with me in such a way. I am not here to satisfy your needs. If you want somebody to satisfy your needs, there are plenty of streets you can go to in America. Figueroa Street and Las Vegas being two prominent places where you can go and have your needs satisfied. But I am not here to satisfy your needs. As a matter of fact, if you want your needs satisfied, I will promise you, you have come to the wrong place. But that's what people are doing. They're now making it look like I'm their priority, that I'm supposed to drop everything just to handle their problems. That's not happening. I told all of you, so I'll say it again. I am not here to handle your problems. I am only here as a facilitator of providing information. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I know you want me to get back to explaining the document. All right, take a look at where it says UCC Article 1-308 and 3-415, 419. Okay, I actually put the law here. Why? Because this is what they're going to be going by. This is what I'm letting them know where the authority that is coming from, where I'm utilizing this instrument. They're going to have a problem with that. That's too bad. Now, if you notice, we give our instruments an identifying number. Now, we use a software known as VersaCheck to do this. Those of you who were at the event in Cleveland, you received the information on how to obtain VersaCheck. It's known as G7 on your disk. But we give it an identifier, because if I ever want to look this document up, I just type this number in. Give it about a month and I type this number in and I see where this instrument has been utilized. But we're going to talk about the 11/25/2011 instrument in just a moment, and the International Money Order in just a moment, but we're building up to that. And when you build up to something, you got to start with a solid foundation. Take a look. It says reference. Then we put the routing number of Bank of America and the account number for the closed checking account. Now, this particularly was dealing with Bank of America, so if it was dealing with something else or someone else, then we would still be putting the Bank of America routing number and the account number, because we're going through the closed account. And we're making an offer, acceptance, and a pledge by the administrator. Presentment is without recourse. This is an original issue priority and active private issue account. Treasury Director Cura to be passed through the account, and we give them the account number. This is where we place the Treasury account number, i.e. what's known as the Social Security number or the EIN number. With the processing of this International Bill of Exchange / money order, so we've identified that it is not a check, because you cannot utilize any instrument that says a check If it says check on it, then you're going to have to put a line through it and say MO for method operandi or modus operandi. No, you're going to put MO and it's going to stand for money order. All right. The fiduciary is to be held harmless and has exempt status in compliance with the accompanying money order. Bill of exchange. So that's a / bill of exchange when passing through the principal account of myself as noted above. Here is the principal account number. It's noted above. Now, getting back to this, the reason why we have these letters in front of the numbers, because let's just say if we had a 4-digit number here. Do you know how many instruments would have that very same number and how difficult it would be to find that instrument? Well, this gives it an identifier or serial number that makes it easier to find. We do the signator or autograph, as so many people like to say, and we do the administrator without recourse. And basically that's it. This is the check number. Take a look, 8722-07143. That's the check number. This is the Treasury routing number, and this is the date, 6/7/2012. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, i.e., in the future, I can get rid of the whole date section because the date's right here. But we're not going to do that because some banks require a courtesy date line. Okay. There we have it. We have the new instruments the way they're being done now. As of today, it took 3 hours to finally get this together and put all this language on here. 3 hours as of today. So we can close this, and now we open up the final one. Now again, that's that receipt that was in my scanner when I scanned this, so I apologize that it's going to be taking some prominent roles. But let's see something here. This was an instrument. This is the back of the check, the closed checking account check that I sent. Payable to the United States of America for set-off and discharge and adjustment. Do not ACH, do not deposit, for EFT only. Freddie Jackson, y'all. I like me, Freddie Jackson. Payable on demand for valuable consideration. That comes from the case of Credit River versus Daily, or Daily versus Credit River. And the court said that there must be valuable consideration in an agreement in order for the agreement to be binding, and amongst other things. For credit to account, and then I put the Treasury account number, which is the social with a 0 in front with the U.S. Treasury. I just erased it here because I'm tired of putting my Social Security number up there for y'all to be pimping. Now notice this. This is the stamp from the bank. Wait a minute. Okay. This is their endorsement stamp. For those of you who said, oh, those things are fraud. Those things are fake. You can't do that. You don't have the authority to do that. Pay attention. Credit within the named payee for deposit only. Now let's look at the full thing because that's only part of it. That's not the whole thing. Let's look at the whole thing. For deposit only, account number. This is Bank of America's account number with the ABA, and here is their routing number. Now it's interesting. You would think the ABA routing number is separate from the routing number that's on the check, but it appears that it is not. Now notice, that's interesting because if the bank can put it in their routing number and put it in their account, why can't I put it in my account through the same ABA routing number? Because my account is set up under Bank of America's routing number with the ABA. This is what we discovered today. Now let me let you know that while I'm talking, I'm just now figuring this out because I didn't look at that routing number before. This is the same routing number that's on the check that I received from Bank of America that I use as a closed checking account. That's why the account remains still open. People, this is Bank of America's 10-digit account in the SAT as my account with Bank of America because my account falls underneath their account. That's why the account remains still open because the bank, the fiduciary's facility is still open where they facilitate things. They credit it within the named payee's account. They deposited it only, even though it said Do not deposit. They did it anyway. Now, you don't believe me? Let's see if we got do not deposit. For discharge, amount of... Uh-oh. I don't think we put do not deposit on here. For EFT only, payable on demand, but I don't see do not deposit. So they didn't do anything wrong. Look at that. They deposited this one, but this one said do not deposit, and they deposited it. Okay? Now this is the international money order that they deposited, and this is the EFT that they deposited. For those of you, oh, and by the way, let me make sure you understand, the EFT that was given to them was an hour style money order that they deposited it. But now they said, well, because you guys put all this wording on it, we're now going to change our policy. That's what we were doing. We were trying to affect policy change. How did we affect policy change? Because we had everybody doing this. I mean, there were thousands of you, tens of thousands of you sending these instruments to the banks all at one time, and we could not have done it without you. Why? Because we felt that all of this junk, and that's what it is, this is junk. We felt it was unnecessary. But the only way to make sure it was unnecessary, because some people were saying, you got to put this or you got to put that or it won't work. Some people were saying all of that. Well, we're now telling people that the banks are now saying that if it contains any of this language, not the payable to the United States for set-off, discharge, and adjustment, but if it contains do not ACH, do not deposit for EFT only, they will reject the instrument. But that's what other people were saying you must put on the instrument. So we're telling you that all this language is unnecessary. That, for instance, let's go back to the instrument that I was just looking at. Let's see if we can... Nope. Not here. Let's see if we can open up the other copy. I think it's this one. Nope, this is the one I'm... That's not the one I'm looking for, Chief. Dana Dane, when he did Nightmares. No, he did Cinderella. And that's when he said, that's not the one I'm looking for, Chief. This is my song, y'all. I've always loved this song. Sorry. So for those of y'all who don't like R&B, I don't even like R&B. I can't even stand the phrase rhythm and blues, because these are not blues songs. Okay? It ain't blues. Now, I sent Bank of America a $1 bill. Bank of America turned around and sent me a cashier's check. This is an official check by Bank of America that they sent to me, but it's their check, and notice there's a different routing number. No, that's the account number. I mean, not the account number, the check number. Now, I need you to pay attention to something, everyone, because I'm just now seeing this for myself, and so you all might as well see it as well. And I want y'all to pay attention. Do you see how this is not the account number? This is their routing number. Their other routing number. This is the check number. Now I'm believing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, this can't be the account number. So let's see where this number would lie on this particular item. Nope, it's not up here. Oh, and you notice how they give it their own special indicator? Let's see. Because they don't just go by this number, they go by this number here. So let's pull it up and see what that number looks like. Like I said, this is an actual copy of a check sent by them. Notice that. So they can track this instrument. And you see when it was made out, 2/8/2012. Okay, this is how long it took them to send this back. But it's too late. November to February? That's because I sent them another instrument after that. Because they never responded to me. But they did send those instruments back, and I kept sending the instruments back to them, not noticing that they had already credited the account. Now this was Bank of America putting my closed account right here. Void over $1. Poor idiots. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to see that Bank of America sent me this check. Your check should not look any different than this one. Do you understand? Take a look. This is how they do their checks. Pay, and then it says to the order of. This is how their systems is, and look at how simple it is. But let's do the 5 points. It must say who it's being paid to. It must be saying who the account is that it's being paid from. And you notice they say to the order of Bank of America. It doesn't say, they say pay me to the order of Bank of America. So I think we've even been looking at that wrong, because take a look at what it says. They're paying me to the order of Bank of America. This offer is rejected. I sent them a dollar bill. That's right. But the dollar bill was sent for value, not for an amount. And it had $1 million on it. I'm not accepting $1 for $1 million. I don't think so. Okay, let's see if we can get else. What else? Notice authorized signature. So this is how their checks look. So why should our checks look any different? Why should our checks have all that verbiage, all that writing?
Well, no, sir. If you take a look at just below, look at all that verbiage and writing you're putting on it.
Because we're doing several things here. That was a cashier's check. What we have done is we have made an international bill of exchange. And what I forgot to do here is call it banker's acceptance. Okay? That's the word we haven't been using that we should have been using a while ago. When I tell all of you that my instruments were working before, well, I like this song too, y'all. I'm glad I selected this arrangement this afternoon because I could use that. Alright, let's take, it's not this one, but we want to look at the back again because I told you guys, well, let's see what everybody else has been saying. That's the front, the one that I just have still open. This is it. Let's take a look at something so all of you will be able to see. Because everybody else is talking about Mr. Redress, saying that he doesn't know what he's doing. That he's just... Sorry, hit the mute button. I know you wish I'd hit it more often, but that ain't happening. It says credit within the named payee for deposit only. They receive credit. We told you before that they take our legal tender and they convert it into credit. They don't monetize it. They convert it into credit. This is a credit-based system. That's why you hear backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. Okay, so I hope this is enough proof for some of you that they have been monetizing.
But why is it working for you and it ain't working for nobody?
I don't know. Can't tell you. That's not my job to tell you why things work for me and it don't work for you. So quit asking me to look at your instruments to see what your instruments say or what they don't say, because that's not my job. That's your job to figure out why it's not working. You have to do the research.
Well, why can't you help me? I don't want to start from scratch. If I have to go all the way to the beginning.
Well, that's the only place for you to start. You don't start from the middle. You start from the beginning. You don't get to jump on the middle of the train while it's moving. You have to wait for the train to stop for you to get on, and this train is still moving. We're still evolving, figuring this stuff out. So if you think that we're going to sit up here and step off the train, stop the train, slow things down so that you can catch up, you are out of your minds. Because it don't work like that. It never worked like that. It's not supposed to work like that. So, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, that's not my job. So people wanted proof that it was working. Here it is, proof. Okay? Now, I cannot tell you how to gain sovereignty because it's not my job. I'm not a sovereignty person. I'm not trying to gain it. I'm not trying to get control of it. I'm not trying to have it. Not trying to have it. You know what I'm saying, Vern? Okay, I'm so glad you understand, because sometimes it's hard for people to understand. I have a young man who wasn't able to make it to the seminar, but he was at the seminar. And, I mean, technically he had a friend show up who was going to be there as well, but he was sick, so he wasn't able to make it. So I made sure that he received a copy of everything. He just says that he didn't receive the sheets, but he did receive a copy from his friend. And I really want to respond to him and say, well, why can't you get copies from your friend? Do you know how many pieces of paper we had there? I don't know what everybody got. I mean, it was 4 gigabytes worth of information given on a disk, and then another 8 gigabytes, which means another 4.5 gigabytes in extra given out on a flash drive. So I don't have all that information to sit up here and take the time to get that little bit of information, but I'm not going to speak to him harshly. I'm just going to tell him to get it from his friend. All right, we're going to pause you for a second. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing is we're pulling up some pages, but while those pages are pulling up, we're going to take you on a little small, simple, short trip. Why? Because we feel like it. God. We're going to go... Uh-oh. There we go. Uh-oh. You know, I had a problem with my computer the other day. My emails and everything, all of my pages. You saw those 50, 60 different pages.
Hi everybody, this is Christian and Nick
We're
from
going to let
Android
Christian
Unite,
and Nick,
and today we're going to be showing you guys how to
Christian
root
and Nick.
a Sensation 4G. Nick and I
They're
are here
here.
together in Austin,
They
Texas
are-
for the Big Android Barbecue,
Where
and
are they?
we're going to walk through this process together.
I
Nick's got
can't
a
find them right
Sensation
quick,
4G.
so
He
it's
got
gonna
it
take
ever
me a
since it got released, right?
Let me
Yeah,
pause
so
you so I can
pre-order,
pause
yeah.
them.
And so we're just
Chris and Nick, I am going to root my new Force G Sensation, so Chris and Nick were helping me out on YouTube. But we got to do something. We're going to go to... And we're going to go to the PDF section of the site. Told people I was having problems uploading the forms and stuff, but I want all of you to take a look. As I go down with all of the documents, we have a ton of documents, literally. We're going to load one document up. It's called the Big Red Stamp, and so that's what we're about to talk about now, is the Big Red Stamp. But we do need for you to understand that there's a particular set of documents that will prove beneficial to all of you. All states EIN numbers, so we definitely think that that would prove beneficial to many of you. And then we have another, just did a video talking about this, EIN numbers for state information PDF, EIN numbers 1, 2, and EIN numbers, which I believe is the same as this one, but I don't know, so you'll have to check yourself. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find those EIN numbers are going to come in handy. Now, some people say, well, look, you did a 1040V that you attached to your documents. Where's that document that talks about the 1040V? Well, because our documents are labeled the way they were labeled prior to us putting them up here, okay, let me tell you what you're going to have to do, boss. You're going to have to go through it, and you're going to have to look for the one that says 1040V. It's just that simple. I mean, I would like to make it more simple. Let's make you bigger. There you go. All right. Let's see. I know it's going to have 1040V. Back of the 1040V. Shall we look at that for a second? Okay. It's pulling down right there. So it's downloading, so I don't have to search for it on the computer. And we have one more. The 1040V that we send with all of our instruments now. We don't just send the instrument by themselves. We attach a 1040V. So I'm going to show you where it is today. Don't email me asking me where it is, because I'm walking you through it right now. Oh, and obtaining a DOT number for your car. Right there. Right there is the document that tells you how to do it. Instructions for obtaining a DOT number. What else can we do for you? Okay, where is my 1040V? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Don't see it. It's supposed to be here. Oh well. I thought for sure I put it on here. Uh-oh. I don't see it. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't see it, but I promise you it will be up here by the time we finish with all this, by the time it's all said and done. Because they just keep saying it and done it, but they never get finished with it. No, I do not see 1040V. Oh, payment voucher, 1040V. Whew. I thought I was losing my mind. All right, we got your 1040V, and we're going to open her. And we got our payment voucher, and we're going to open her. I don't want to open up nothing else. Other laws you didn't know about, and I think laws that you didn't know about are here too. Let's see, under L. Nope, it's not, but who cares? We'll put it up here eventually. Got too much to do. Alright, so while those two documents, I keep clicking on the wrong thing because it's all in black, so I can't differentiate. Alright, we got some things that we need to look for on VOOs today, so we will do that later. Right now my speed is 666 kilobytes, which is okay for the area that I was in. Wait a minute, where are my documents that came from the internet? Wait a minute. Where are my downloads? There they go. I've been waiting for these things all day. I don't know why they took their time. So we're not gonna cover the 1040V again because I'll be putting up a video that we did yesterday that covers the 1040V. But this is letting you know that the document with the 1040V with all the information at the bottom is up there. The only thing that you don't need is this section right here. Okay? This only applies to what I did, but this is a copy of what I sent in with my 1040V. Okay? So that goes in with every check without exception. So all you have to do is follow the course. This is what we put on the back of the 1040Vs. Funding and credit is to be made to the account noted within the body of the public side of this document. Acceptance of value. That's what I put on the back of each one.
Did they work? Did you get any?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to tell you whether or not it worked. I'm here to tell you what I did, and that's it. Whether it worked or not is not my concern, and it shouldn't be yours, because I promise you it's not your concern. So mind your own. I had a gentleman that used to be around as one of my teammates, and he would literally say to me, mind your own, you'll live long. And I understand. I literally understand. We're looking for BIGREDSTAMP. That's what we're looking for now. It's called the Big Red Stamp. Y'all heard of it? Of course y'all has. But we're going to show y'all what the Big Red Stamp is all about, why it's all about that, and hopefully you will all understand. I don't know what's taking it so long. Oh, it's still going through the process. I was waiting for the screen to change. Okay, I see what this is. This is the site we're going to be talking about as soon as we get some more information on it. So, but this shouldn't have been popping up because I didn't even ask for it. The Big Red Stamp. There it is. Oop, there it is. So as it pulls up, which it should be pulling up in a minute, I'm trying to think of what I had to get off of VOOs. Oh yes, people have been telling me about the Hunger Games. Don't do that to me while I'm typing. What's wrong with you? Alright, we're going to look up the Hunger Games because I had a copy of it and I don't know, I think I deleted it because I thought it was a movie about a bunch of girls going to camp or something and talking about food. I didn't want to see that junk. But then somebody told me the details of it and I'm like, oh, 1.55 MB. That's where we need to be. But anyway, somebody told me what it was supposed to be about. And now I want to see it. That's me. I don't just go watch a movie because it's a movie. Now, I did watch a movie last night, and it was called 96 Minutes. And at first I didn't want to see it either because I thought it was stupid. But I agree, it's not a stupid movie now. It's a movie that I wouldn't mind looking at again. What we're going to do... Come on, give me my 25. We're going to do 25 per page so I don't have to be flipping through pages. Now we got this, we got that, and we're going to save this. Save as. desktop. Then I got something to tell y'all. We did a notice of removal from from state court to federal court. Now we know the process is pretty effective, but our thing was, we knew that there was going to be some interference. We knew there was going to be some stupidity. So $350 later, stupidity and interference. But here's what the judge did. The judge decided that he was going to strike every single document from the file. He was going to strike it and close the case. Not dismiss it, but close it. That was pretty much like him sealing the case. Now, why would he do that is what we couldn't figure out. He didn't have a legitimate reason for closing the case or dismissing the case. But the law says that he must give opportunity to amend, especially since we paid the fees. And then he struck all of the documents from the record. What's he trying to cover up? What's he trying not to make sure that's visible to all of you? Well, it was the argument in the notice of removal. And I believe we have one up on the site. So let me see. Should be the federal routing numbers. We have to take that down. Those numbers are not the current routing numbers. You'll have to get a current list of the Federal Reserve routing numbers. Notice of removal filings, that's the PDF, so that's not the one. The debt repair letter that we have been using, that we send with all of our instruments, that's it right there. Notice of removal. We did one for the web. Okay, I'll make sure we put it up today. Give me a second. Let's do here. Let's do open. Nope, not here. We're looking for, is this my desktop? Nope, this ain't my desktop. Should be, no, this is my desktop. Okay, my desktop. Let's do NOTICE of, hey, stop that. I hate it when it changes that. Come on. Now it wants to freeze up on me because it's got my boy Marvin Gaye. Alright, we'll have it look up the notice of removal for the web. And it's got a bunch of folders to look in. But while it's doing that, we'll let it look it up. While it's doing that, let's see if we can cover something. Well, didn't take long. Notice of removal filing A. District Court. Let's open this up a little bit so we can, for web. Okay. And it's going to be under notice of removal. These are the arguments we brought. We told you that the courts are a corporation. Now, other people said, well, I brought up the fact that the courts are a corporation, and they just ignored me and didn't let my stuff go through. Well, they're trying to block this from going through. Okay, but our notice of removal actually listed the EIN number for the corporation. This is the EIN number for the 2nd Judicial District Court in New Mexico, the persons who were part of the petition. Notice of removal and verified petition warrant thereof. This should not have been entitled a notice of removal. This should have been the regular 1983 Title 42. So Title 42 1983 claim. This is what this should have been. Or a petition, not a petition. Don't want to do petitions anymore. Always presentments. No more petitions, people. We don't want to be petitioning these idiots. But this is the document that had the arguments and the federal questions and so forth in the case, speaking how she has never admitted to being a collective entity to the defendant, nor has she, collective entity, and it's not a period, but the defendant, nor has she volunteered to stand in place or in the stead of the defendant. Henrietta, just gave the person this name, the petitioner, now presenter, has made it quite clear verbally and on several of her documents presented to the court that she will not accept or engage in any contract with any corporation, especially one masquerading as a court of law. 2nd Judicial District Court of Bernalillo County, New Mexico, a corporation unlawfully assuming judicial responsibilities. So we're saying they are acting. They're actors, state actors, acting as attorneys, acting as lawyers, acting as judges, acting as courts when they are in fact not. Okay, so this is the document that we filed that got the individual we knew released from the facility. Okay. Now, we filed a $1.3 billion lien against the county as a result of that particular case. Notice the big red stamp. Stop all lawsuits in the following manner. Notice the big red stamp, people. 1. The big red stamp, BRS, below needs to be placed on the front of every page of the document you receive from a governmental body or the courts, and then sent back to them within 72 hours. The 72-hour rule is the international contract rule. Now, it says even if you don't send it back within the 72 hours, do this anyway. I'm not going to do the whole video. I'm not going to do the whole document. That's for you guys to go back to later. And now it tells us to place a dollar stamp where it says stamp and sign across in blue ink that cancels that stamp. I believe that there might be some validity to that. Sorry, I got to go here so that page doesn't continue to do that to me. Alright, get a red ink stamp made up in a good copy shop which says under reserved rights is what I would put, with the copy dash claim. It says under reserve with the copy dash claim by, and then it says your signature here. Agent for a corporation. Not a corporation. The living soul. And he says this is the actual size of the stamp. Stamp the lower bottom right hand corner of each page, front and back, with the red ink stamp. It seals the document. That's all you're doing, is you're stamping it at the lower corner, ending the document, and you're stamping it at the lower corner of the backside, ending the document. Okay? With the red ink stamp, and stamp it all over the envelope. Send it certified mail return receipt. I am going to suggest to you, says notice the price for the forms in the kit do not include consultation. Consultation is available for $200 per hour with a payment 1 hour minimum paid in advance by money order. See, this is what everybody else is doing, y'all. They're charging you to consult with them. But I'm back to the 60 calls a day almost with people calling, and my phone hasn't rang yet, and I'm so grateful. But I cannot take it, cannot handle it, and I'm not going to start charging people to prevent people or cause people not to call. What I want you all to do is to start paying more attention and join together, come together. We created a group called the Redress Update Contact Group. And all we're doing is putting information out there for you on the various methods where you can go into the forum and ask a question, and many members of the group will provide you useful information. We have a couple of people in the group, caution, we had a few members in the group who didn't understand that we don't play that. They thought we were going to love them tender and love them sweet. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Elvis. Anyway, they thought that's what we were going to do, and we're telling you no. We're not going to do that. We're not going to tolerate people criticizing or talking about other people. Okay, because when I started all this, I told you I knew that people would eventually start talking about me, and I knew it was coming. That's why, if you look at it, our first disclaimer was, we don't care if you take what we are putting here. If you take our information, if you criticize us, talk about us, whatever. But we're not going to allow you to do it on our site. We're not going to allow you to do it in our forum. It's not going to happen because we don't want it happening to us. We're not going to sit up there and allow it to happen to someone else. So we've had to remove several members who didn't understand that I don't care if somebody says something you don't like. In that group, you don't have the right to voice your opinion. If you want to voice your opinion, you do so privately, but you don't do it inside a group that's created to help people discharge their debt. That's all the group is for. Okay, so 44 minutes, 31 seconds worth of this talking. We're going to tell you this document will be up momentarily, and so just be prepared to see it when it's finally up. Okay, so that document will be up, and I got a wasp that is nearby. Give me a second. I was supposed to kill it, but I hit it. I mean, I missed it. My hat fell out of my hand because I was going to use my hat to take care of it. I won't do that no more. My hat just didn't work, but he did leave. And it was, I thought it was a wasp, but it could have been a wasp, but I couldn't tell because it was a little too far away. But when I looked at it, it definitely looked like a wasp. And I've never been bit by a wasp. I guess this might be the first day. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all being said and all being done, we're going to thank you for taking the time to listen to us, to sit up here and ramble on and on and on about how people telling us that we don't have the right to write the Treasury money orders and that they don't work or that they're illegal and that the banks are saying that they're no good and that they cannot be utilized and that they're not a valid form of payment and all of this other stuff, where we can sit back and we can prove to you that that's a lie, where we have utilized them and they have worked. Uh-oh, he came back. And so he will have to die because he did come back. And so I'm going to have to kill him. Sorry, it's a battle between me and that wasp because he came back and he came really close. And yes, it is a wasp. And I don't like wasps. My family from the south, central Los Angeles, no, they from the other south, the dirty south, Louisiana. And in that south, there's a lot of wasps. And my family, as we grew up, many of my brothers and sisters, I can recall, don't remember the exact scene, but I know many of them were bit by one thing or another. I've never been stung by a bee. I've never been stung by a wasp. Have I been bit by a spider? Maybe, but not to my recollection. I've been bit by red ants. And that wasn't fun, but that maybe happened only twice in my life because I had to give them an understanding because I don't like being bit or scratched or stung. But enough about the stinging and the biting. I hope that many people have been able to see what we're working on and how we're working on it, how we're trying to find remedy for you. Because we are trying to find remedy. We know that this stuff works. Now we need to find consistency within the system. We have told you, many of you who have listened to the seminar, you've only listened to the first 4 hours up until lunch. So what's going to happen is I'll put the rest of it up there. It's going to take me a minute. I've had some wonderful people who helped to record it because my trying to record it and trying to speak into the microphone just wasn't working. So I just received a CD in the mail from one of the wonderful people who were there, who sent me a CD of the audio, and I am very grateful for that. Okay? So let's give our hats off to all of the people who were very, very helpful during the entire event. I truly do appreciate it. And I know that the people out there appreciate it as well. It's going to take some time to put all of this together because, you see, that one video took 10 hours. The audio, because I have to convert it to video form so that it can be uploaded to YouTube. So there's a processing time. 4 hours was the processing time, but guess what? I ended up shutting off the computer while it was processing because I had it minimized like I have most of the screens here. So when I hit shut down, the program shut down and I only had like 20 minutes left to go. So it took another 5 hours. That's how fun that was. Then it took another 2 hours. No, it wasn't quite 2 hours. No, it was a little bit over 2 hours to upload it to YouTube. But that's the whole issue. So for those of you who want to complain, if you put a beat to it, it will sound better. But I ain't got time for your whining or telling us what's this and what's that and how this should work and how that should work, what you think we should do and what you think we shouldn't do. I ain't got time for that. I think y'all should type this in and go here and figure some things out. Because I haven't been here. I'm just typing on it right now. Somebody told me about it, but EF, what's that? I don't know what it means, y'all. What does this mean? Wait. That looks like it. This could be an apostrophe and it could be like EFTs. Is it EFTs? You simply make payments whenever you want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can enter payment instructions for 120 days in advance. Payments must be scheduled at least 1 calendar day prior to tax due date. Wait a minute. .gov? Wait, I think we might be onto something here. No, there is no cost for using EFT. I can't say it. I don't know what that means. If you schedule payments yourself via this site or by phone, what information can I edit online? Interesting. Look at all of this the government provides us. So I'm thinking y'all might want to go check this out. I think it might prove to be beneficial or beneficio. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, CONTINNUM. Have you heard of this show? It's a Canadian show called Continuum. And I think I'm spelling it the way the show spells it. But I won't know for a moment. But I saw this show the other day, the plot, not the plot, the pilot. And I'm thoroughly impressed with that show. I knew I was spelling it wrong. Why didn't y'all tell me? So we do control copy, and we go here, and we go paste and go. Continuum. I don't want the definition. Let's do TV, SHOW, on LINE. TV series. I think it's a nice show. I actually like it. I spelled it right. Ain't that about a... It says it couldn't find anything on Vooz. I guess it's too new. Let's see if we can do that again and see what we pull up. So y'all can see what I go through. But Continuum, I like the show. I think it's an okay show, and so I'm going to take care of that. I want to thank all of you for visiting us here at the Legal Readers Commission at readersright.org, readersright.com, soon to be up, and on Skype at readers.right, as well as the email address. Those of you who are using the old address at NetZero will not get a response because we've not used NetZero for about 5 months now. We are doing the redressucc at gmail.com. I want to thank all of you for your taking the time. And Al Green is going to take us out of here from his latest album. And we ask that y'all take care. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good life. Whatever it is, have it and let it be good. Goodbye.